If I was to start all over from zero and build a $5,000 product business online, these are the four things I would focus on. And the first one is not going to be about choosing a product. If you don't know me, my name is Long. I spent over 15 years building online businesses. I scaled six-figure businesses, seven-figure business, and even failed a few. But in this video, I'm going to show you the easier, fastest way to get a converting product by following these four frameworks. So I'm going to jump in my screen and show you what I have. So most beginners, they spend weeks, months trying to figure out the perfect product. And some will stressed out, get overwhelmed, and even quit. They'll ask simple questions like, what should I sell? Or what product is trending? What can I make money with? They'll jump on TikTok and see all these people promoting it and they want to sell it. But I think they have that all backwards because when you want to get to if you want to create a product where it's higher converting, then you want to start backwards. Meaning, if I was to start, I would actually focus on the problem. And why the problem? Because you want to be able to have a product that is already proven to work. The product that people are already finding because they're frustrated or they have an issue and they're trying to solve. So they will buy a product to solve it with. And that's the area that I would go about. Example would be a product that I would be sleeping in the middle of the night and I'll wake up and say, I'm having this problem and I need something to fix it. So a product that solves the problem. And if you don't, you'll go and choose whatever that's trending on TikTok and you'll just promote that or you'll create that product and nobody wants to buy it or it's harder to convert. Just the fact that maybe you got to have a strong background, brand, company. But if you're just starting out, you would probably want to get a product that's already proven to work. But finding a real problem doesn't mean that you have a business already, because the next part is just as important. And the next focus I would actually focus on would be changes here, would be the offer. So why the offer? What is the offer? And it's not just a product. So the offer is actually what are you offering that is different from the competitors, whether it's price, whether it's features, how are you differentiating yourself from other competitors, other products? And you want to start here on the second because a product can solve a real problem and still never sell. So here it is. The problem equals what they need to solve, what they need to solve, and your offer equals what you're asking them to buy. Now, if you have a weak offer, you're gonna be having just a same simple product that is already exists, or you'll have the problem that you can't even solve. So, and I don't mean it has to be that because I build products where I would just upgrade a feature of that product that doesn't really solve a problem, but it differentiates yourself from others. So now you have the problem and offer, but if you put your offer in front of the wrong people, then they'll likely not buy. So that's why the third focus, I would actually focus on the audience. So what is the audience? The audience is one of the easiest way you'll waste your money if you sell it to the wrong one, to the wrong people. So you want to have a target audience, and some people will call this the avatar. What is your avatar? But having a strong, clear target of the people you're trying to sell to makes more sense than just trying to sell to everybody. And you'll hear this from time to time about being niche. That's very important too, but you could also be broad niche, meaning, let's say, for example, let's say you're selling to dog parents, but then you want to sell dog beds. So you're niching down and then you go further, dog beds that they have their dogs where they'll have trouble wetting the bed. So is your dog bed that is waterproof. So if you have something like that, you're targeting all the way, but honestly, I would actually approach my target audience this than this because if you go into niche is good. Maybe sometimes there's less competition, but there's not a lot of I guess people that have dogs that wet their bed all the time. So you're kind of limiting yourself, but it could be a feature. It could be additional variation of your product later on. So initially, I would actually start with the broad niche. Again, if you're just randomly targeting people, you'll have a low converting product. You're sending it to different audience where they don't even have a dog. So being specific in your target audience is important. Now I know what I'm selling and who am I selling to, but the next thing is as much important, which how are they going to find you? So the next thing is actually the channel. What I meant, your channel is your traffic source. You can have a great product, you can have a great offer, but if you don't have traffic, who's going to buy it, right? So you have a good product offer and your audience, you're going to get zero sales if nobody's going to find you. So the channel is as much as important. So you have your problem, your offer, your audience, and you know who to sell it to, but then you'll get zero sales if you don't have that traffic source. You want to be able to know where people are actually searching for that problem, whether it's Amazon, Facebook, Google, where is your audience hiding? And for me, I would actually start in on Amazon because everybody goes there to buy their product. That's the number one top traffic sources for buying a product. And I have to admit, if you're actually going towards that channel and selling on that channel, to cut all your margins up. But at the same time, you're trading off for that data. Initially, I would jump on Amazon first, but then I'll branch off to other traffic sources. So you'll want to start with one. It's very important to start with one. And I recommend Amazon, even though they'll cut up your margins, you'll know that if your product is going to convert or not. And then you shift on to other sources or traffic sources. But if you have a good product and a good offer and right audience, but nobody sees it, you're wasting time when you're trying to grow everywhere. So again, having Amazon as, I guess, a testing playground, you can actually determine if your product is worth pursuing. So I'll put this down right here as so Amazon, Google, Facebook. Like Google, it could be SEO, it could be Google ads, shopping ads. And for Facebook, of course, it's going to be, I wouldn't say marketplace because you're just going to get random people. The traffic source is almost like word of mouth, your friends and your family. You're not going to get a scalability off of that. So it's definitely going to be the ads. You're going to have to push ads for there. And of course, you have your website, but then your website or Shopify or WooCommerce or, whatever you're trying to Shopify or WooCommerce is definitely going to be from Google. So I wouldn't consider that a traffic source, but the top three, I would actually go with these. So now you have let me go again. Here is the problem, the offer, right? You got the problem. What is people searching about? What type of frustration they have? You pick one from there. You create the offer. You want to differentiate yourself, whether it's the pricing, the features, especially. How are you different from the competitors? And again, the feature can be simple as long as you have a strong branding. Then you go to audience. Who are you trying to target that to? Keep it niche broad. I want to say broadly niche, but not so specific. You can go specific if you want, but that's up to you. And of course, the channel, which is the traffic source, whether it is Google, Facebook ads, or Amazon, which I highly recommend you go on Amazon. Even though it cut their margins, again, you put your product out there and you could test if it's actually working to pursue to other channels or not. And if it doesn't, you're back at the drawing board trying to find the problem and offer an audience. So now I want to present to you what it would look like if you would sell a lot of products, but then would you actually make $5,000? So check this out right here. This is how a $5,000 per month product business. And I put these example numbers trying to make it simple. So a $32 product. And I super highly recommend you price your product $30 or more because your margin is going to get cut, especially if you're going to go on Amazon. So let's say, for example, $32, right? and you're trying to get to $5,000. So you have to sell about 156 units per month. So let's round it up about 157 per month. And let's divide it to make it more simple by 30. So 30 in a month, right? And you all you have to do is sell 5 to 6 per day, which is not that bad when you're looking at 156. So that's about a $5,000 per month product. So the goal is not really the $5,000 per month. The goal is actually, can you really try to sell 5 to 6 units per month to people? Would people actually buy this? But here's one thing but about beginners, they tend to forget about the margins, the fees and stuff. So if you look over here, here's actually how the profit per month would look like on a $5,000 with a $32 a product. You would have to think about the cost of goods, the shipping, the fees. So let's roughly round $15. And I put it right here. Cost of good. Let's say your product costs $8 and your shipping is about $4 total. Your merchant fees or marketplace fees about $3. So you have it here: 32 minus 15 equals 17. So you profit about $17. So if you times that by the 157, what we discussed about, you only get about 2,060, 2,670, 2,669, right? Which is not really that bad. You're getting in your pocket 260, 200, let's just round it, 200, 2,700, right? But if you want to crank it up to make $5,000 per month, all you have to do is sell 300 units at $17, and then you'll get 5,000, roughly around $5,000 per month. And let's say you actually increase your price of your product. Let's say you added more features, differentiate yourself as a premium product. You price it for like $35, then you actually make more money, or you'll just have to sell less to make more, if that makes sense. Same product, completely different goal. So if I was to start all over and build a $5,000 product business online, I wouldn't start with that $5,000. I would actually start with the problem. You try to find the problem, which there's a product to, and then you get the offer, which you differentiate yourself, make it, improve it, and the audience, who are you trying to sell it to, and of course the channel, what traffic source you're gonna put your product there where all the audience are. So again, I would actually focus on the problem. Try to find a problem that's people's frustrated about. Wake up in the middle of the night type of problems that you can actually put a product around, and find an offer where you can actually differentiate yourself, add features or things that can solve more problems. And when you do that, you find the audience that's actually likely to buy it. Again, go broad. Don't go super niche. I wouldn't go super niche if I were you, but you can again. And then you will have the traffic source. I would go on Amazon. It's up to you. If you could actually start off on your website, which is also a good thing because you want to create your own brand design, have your own packaging, logo, and all that. But after that, I would actually focus on one sale, but then focus on the next sale and try to get the next sale after that until the math makes sense. So I challenged myself to upload 30 YouTube videos on this channel. I want to be better at this on these whiteboard type of videos, teaching 15 years of online businesses experience that I know. And if you're building something too, subscribe, comment below. Let me know if you need any help. And thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.